Well, a very good evening from India. And if I say, then good evening from India is not at all suitable. If I won't say good morning, good evening, and a lovely afternoon to all the beautiful and pious souls who are watching us live on this global conference by none other than Macedonian Association Doza Srekja International. And life expectancy would grow by leaps and bounds if green vegetables smelled as good as bacon. And laughter is the brightest in the place where food is good. Well, this is your host, Dr. Supriya Kumar Velan from India, international speaker, Toastmaster, communication and leadership coach, soft skill trainer. Welcome you all today on this pure and pious day because this is going to be amazing conference, food quality and control. Don't you think it's a beautiful topic and a very insightful topic because the procedures we all need to know, we all need to follow to ensure that its products meet food quality regulations and acceptable standards to ensure consumer safety. And once again, we all are here with all lovely people, eminent speakers, I must say. I'm really, we all were waiting for this day since I posted on social media. So without taking much delay, because already we had delay in some other virtual connections or some other connections. So once again, I will thank Dr. Dragan Ivanov, the international representative of Macedonian Association, and who said one day, I still remember, Dr. Dragon, if you're hearing me, because I know you're struggling with your virtual connections and all that, but no worries, we all are here to support you. And ladies and gentlemen, what one thing I like about this great personality who believes ona shtogo pravime denes ostanuva vo vechnoshta. Yes, and he is proved a big milestone in the field of research and development, phytomedicine, scientist, educator, author, speaker. And because of his dedication, hard work, we created Macedonian Association Doza Srekja International. So this is all about how we formed. And I am doing a great welcome, Dr. Dragon, although you can't speak because of your virtual connections. So no worries, we'll go forward, and virtual, glitches, ditches, whatever you want to say is a part, and we have to bear up and move on. So moving ahead in my lovely journey from ordinary to super ordinary, I am overjoyed to call upon my first speaker because we have to see who is my first speaker and who is here. Yes, if I talk about Croatia, I will remember Nada. And when I say Nada, I will, sometimes I get confused. How shall I introduce her? Because she is an amazing personality which says only one thing: to move forward. And I have been very inspired by Nada. So let's move to Croatia. My first guest speaker, president of IIU Research Center, board member, researcher, educator, international speaker, moderator, and motivator. Professor Nada, the floor is all yours to hit on.
Thank you. Thank you, then, Supriya. Greetings from Croatia. Please, can you give me the option to share? I can't share yet.
Yes, you can.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much. Let's move. What is this? Oh my God. I need to move all of this from the computer.
Take your time, dear. No worries.
I don't know why it is not going. Here, this. Let's see what's the problem. Okay. Can't turn out this, and it is making a problem to share. Let me try again.
Maybe you can minimize your screen and then you open the file from your source.
It don't get me to minimize or to shut it down. Nothing.
Top right.
No, it don't give me. No. Let's see again. Can't come to my I can't come to my desktop. Priya, please go. Supriya, can you move so I will go next. I need okay, I think I get it now. Okay, yes. Oh, okay. It's great. Okay. So how I call today my presentation? I call it Sustainable Agriculture, Promoting Sustainable Agriculture in Croatia. Our topic is food quality and control. So if we want to have quality food and if we want to have the control, we need to promote sustainable agriculture in Croatia and in all other countries all around the globe. So I'm coming from the University of Economics, a professor in a vet school, working for IIU. And here I will start. And I want to say that because I'm coming from Europe, we are working a lot on the e-twinning platform for the European Union. Croatia is a part of European Union. So we are promoting agriculture and others. Here is my country, my town, and first we will start from the effects of the climate change in Croatia. We have a lot of problems till we are thinking that we will till 2030 achieve this SDG 13, but the weather, the climate, the temperature, all things are not going are not good until now. So you see here, this is a field. This is a field near my town. And the field is empty because nobody don't want to work on the field. So how can we talk about sustainable agriculture? How can we talk about the quality of the food when we are exporting and importing? We are importing the food from other countries which are not written on the safety way. So we have a beautiful nature, and if we talk about the climate in my town, now it is winter, the temperatures are very low. So my students and me, we are every day measuring the air quality, and if we want to talk about the air quality, we really have a clear and fresh air in my country and in my town. So like a researcher, if we want to say how can we bring this and what the climate change has, which is the effect, we see here that we have the Mediterranean climate and it is the hot summer and humid summers. So if we compare the towns, you see here Zagreb is a capital town, and the average temperature are changing from the 20th century to the 21st century. And this is a big problem. This is a big problem. We have a lot of number of days per year in very, very warm days. So this research is very important if we are talking about the agriculture, and this changes and these days are repairing and this averages. You see we have so many freezing days, and also we are going from the hot days to the freezing days. So there is no the middle which we need for the agriculture. So we have so many risks and consequences of the climate change in Croatia. So we are doing our education for 2030. We have a climate action team and we are coordinating all the steps for our students. And we are developing the critical thinking skills, creative thinking skills, and other thinking skills. So in vocational and technical education, in all subjects I do, like statistics, math, and also in the science and technology. We need to do that. We need to empower students to take the action. How can they take the action? They learn about the action, they learn through action, and they are learning from the action. So there are so many possible ways to model the climate action. And if we want to have products made on the farms, on the plantation, the factories with responsible labor, we need a responsible consumption. And this is all in correlation, the nature, the biodiversity, energy, health, and well-being. So we are doing this with the students. Students are collaborating with the students from other countries. Like example here is the Poland and Croatia. The students are making interviews. The students are trying to find a solution for this, and this is the best way, this class-to-class experience from the students. If you look from the window from my school, you see the school park, and we are making so many activities with the students, like stacking branches. Students need to know how to stack the branches if we want a greener future. And then we were talking about the nature without the garbage, and this is the actions of the students. I want to say something that is very important. In my around my town, we have so many mountains. One of the mountains is called Dinara, and we are working now on the project called the Life Project. We want Dinara to come back to the life. After the war, we have so many problems in Croatia, and we want a clean nature. We want to bring the life to this mountain because we have so many national parks. We have so many lakes. Croatia is one of the most beautiful country on the world if we are talking about the nature. So you see here this lake and this, and here we have so many mountains, and now we are working on this project and Adriatic coast. And so we have I said 6 national parks, 4 nature parks, 2 strict nature reserves, and this Dinaric mountains. And if we move this, we can make this nature conversation through sustainable use, bringing bringing back bringing back the ships. If we talk about the ships, we can have the milk, we can have the meat, and then we can talk about the food safety and control if we are using our home products. So Yellow Frame Award, we this year we are applying for this Yellow Frame Award for the sustainable agriculture, bringing back the life to this mountain, Dinara. You see here, the idea is to provide a strong support for development and for all the agriculture activities, and not only for the agriculture activities, also for the tourism. So here are the objectives. We want to promote European Union instruments, and we have a possibility to give the grants, to get the grants from European funds, and we are working on that. So that is very important for us to get the projects. And when we get the European projects, we get the money from the funds, and then we can talk about this project. You see here, from 15 January 2019 to 15 July 2023, the project value is 1 million euro. And we are a part of this group called Cetinska Krajina, and from the University of our capital town. So we get once this frame 2021, and we are again applying, and we want to promote sustainable agriculture. I will move a little further through this, so because I want to show you something. You see what the students are doing. Students are working, making the walls from this. And then we are talking about the Dalmatian food, like example, black risotto. It is our autochthon food. Then we have brudet, also a salad from Croatia, octopus. So then I want to wish you welcome to my town. You see, this is my town. We are a small town, but we are working a lot. And I can say that this small town has so many, brings so many to Croatia economy, because in my town we have so many experts in so many fields. So we have a big tradition. We have great food, and this called Sinski arambashichi, called sarma, is a traditional dish. And if we bring back the mountain dinara, we can have this food for the tourists and for all. Also, like a proskioto, like a zagora cheese, like pasticada, like a peka, traditional cooking method. So this is a safety food. This is a food from our the fields, from our mountains, from our lakes, from our rivers. We are surrounded with the lakes and with the rivers. This is a lamb under called Pekka in Dalmatia. So I hope that you will come soon and visit my country and have and try the traditional cakes, cookies from my town. And my students are growing through the profession. You know, we are not only talking, we are really acting. We are really acting. So here are some photos from the students. The students are cooking. These are the dishes of the small artists. And this food is from our town and our field. You see the spicy snacks and salads, the sticks and clear soups. So this is all from the students. What is now? Then this hot appetizers, the main dishes, the desserts. We see more desserts, sweet Christmas house. We make this sweet Christmas house. We take care a lot about the students with the special needs. So we bring them this Christmas house. So we are fulfilling the life of all students, and we are making, I can say, a personalization to every student through the working atmosphere, through everything. And this is the end of our story. And then we can say zero waste. We need to waste. We need to say no to the plastic. And we need to take away the packaging for all, to limit and make the most of food. So this is our food. We can work on the small menu. We can do this. And this food can be promoting the tourism in the hotels and in the restaurants. So rethink your textile purchases, everything, waste, and do limit chemicals, no chemicals. We don't use the chemicals, without the chemicals. So then, like economics, we can talk about the marketing food, the reasonable product, and this is production, and we recycle all we have. So let's learn and grow together. Not I can talk till tomorrow, but I want to go a little further through this and show what we are doing. And I will repeat again, my town is a small town, but we are bringing a big contribution to Croatia, and not only to Croatia, to European Union. Thank you. Thank you so much for this opportunity.
Wow, Professor Nana, I don't have any words to describe your versatility. And if I talk about your PowerPoint presentation, you have today broken my diet, which I am on. You are showing your soups, your desserts, your delicious foods of your country. And trust me, you
Yes, sir.
have broken my diet today. I'm gonna eat today. I'm going to come to Croatia. I'm going to eat. So superb one, excellent presentation. And thank you so much for enlightening with your beautiful
Thank you.
knowledge. And you are awesome. Well, ladies and gentlemen, today is a big surprise along with this conference. Can anybody guess what's the surprise?
Yes, yes.
Yes?
Today is a birthday.
Wow, you are
Yes.
amazing and excellent. And
Yes.
when I say birthday, then I should share something with you all. And now, guess what is coming next?
Queen.
Uh-oh. Can anybody see my screen, everyone?
Yes.
Uh,
Yeah.
Oh,
Yes, and here is the cake for our lovely queen. And I will request everyone, please unmute yourself because we are going to sing song for her because today is a birthday. And let's unmute and sing the song for our beautiful queen. Happy birthday
To you.
Happy
Happy
birthday
birthday to you.
Happy
Happy birthday,
birthday,
dear Queen.
Happy
Happy
birthday.
birthday.
To you. Where's the queen? The queen is missing.
Oh my
Yes.
God, there's no sound for my voice. So where is Queen? Queen is here. She can see, she can bless, and we bless Queen from the heart. If she is watching live, or if she will see the later. But bless her
she's
from
with
the heart.
us. Supriya, she's with us.
Wow. So Queen, can you see your beautiful
I'm
cake?
I'm in the service at the moment. I'm in church.
Oh, so blessings from the church coming to India, Croatia, Macedonia, all over the world.
Thank you so much. This is really a big
Queen, this
surprise.
is a virtual cake, but trust me, when you're going to meet me in India, a beautiful cake I'm going to bake for you, and that will be your surprise in real.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. This is a surprise. Thank you so much to everyone. I really appreciate you all. Thank you, Dr. Suraya. Thank you, Dr. Anuja Malik. Thank you, Professor Nada. Thank you, thank you for Dr. Dragon, Dr. Estera. Thank you. I don't even know what to say. Dr. Anita.
Well, well, ladies and
Oh
gentlemen,
no.
I think this
I,
is the biggest surprise. I was waiting for it because last night I was preparing a cake. I was thinking how I can make it more interesting, and it was like, oh, this cake, this cherries, and this that. And I hope the queen really liked it. Really,
I love it. I love it. I love it. I wish I could.
God bless you, queen, and be happy always.
Thank you so much. And I want to say thank you to all our great leaders. I wish I would prepare notes for today, but I'm in the midst of celebration in the church. They also surprised me. So, I mean, it's nothing that I planned, but bear with me if I won't be able to speak on our topic today. But this is surprise.
Well,
Thank you so much. I don't know what to say, Lewa. I'm speechless this time. I'm really
well,
speechless.
I know
Thank you
you're
so
in
much.
church, you can't speak, but we have got your message that I am being inspired and the world is inspired by you, Queen. You have inspired thousands and millions of women today, and you have been an inspiration of strong determination and control. Women needs not any empowerment. So let's move ahead. God bless you.
Thank
Love
you.
you, Queen.
Thank you. God bless you. Thank you so much. God bless you. Thank you.
Well, moving to my lovely journey, and after having a yummy cake, now it's time to listen to my eminent speaker. And my next speaker is from Canada, from the country of beautiful scenery, gorgeous lakes, historical wonders, ice hockey. Oh, that's my favorite. DTM, inspirational and professional speaker, moderator, facilitator, and coach, none other than Von Eric Tendok. And the floor is all yours, Von.
Okay. First, hey, good morning from Alberta. Oh, I would like to say good morning, Estera, my friend, Dr. Nada, of course, and to Dr. Anuja, and of course, Dr. Supriya.
Morning.
Dr. Dragan, thank you very much for inviting me here. And happy birthday to my dear friend, Dr. Queen Elizabeth Lucas. Honorable dear Lucas, and of course, uh, Miss Anita Powell. I think we've been in one conference before, and Dr. Yolanda. We are all familiar faces here, so I like this, all familiar faces. Okay, yeah, I don't have any slides to prepare. And our topic for today is about food safety and control. I like this topic because I actually work in this industry. I have a 20-year background in food industry. Aside from coaching, teaching, public speaking in university, aside from being a Toastmaster, aside from moderating and also paid hosting, this is actually my main job. Well, my another job is safety. I check safety, so I'm a safety coordinator in Alberta too. So first, I would like to define what is food safety. What is food safety? Right? Let's digest it one by one. Food safety is used as a scientific method or a discipline describing the handling, preparation, and storage of food in ways that produce food and, of course, maintaining the quality. In the fast food industry that I worked before, we have the so-called JIT. JIT, it means just in time. So we use that word, just in time. So what does it mean by just in time? You prepare the food just in time. It is warm, fresh, and not preparing before the time recommended. So let's say the customer wants it at 7 o'clock, you prepare it at exactly 7 or a little bit earlier, but not an hour before, because we are defeating the purpose of the food safety and control. Now, when we talk about food safety, if there's an occurrence of 2 or more cases of a similar illness resulting from the, what do you call this one, ingestion of a common food disease, then we call it foodborne disease. There's a contamination. There's a contamination. Now, when it comes to food control, what is food control all about? Okay, so when we say food control, I have one good definition that I hit. It says here, it is defined. So I'm going to read the definition as a regular mandatory activity of enforcement by national or local authorities to provide consumer protection and ensure that all foods during production, handling, and storage, processing, and distribution are safe. That is the common definition of food control. Now, let's go back to food safety. When we say food safety, it is the condition and practices that preserve the quality of food to prevent contamination and foodborne illness. So when we say food safety, your main concern is preventing contamination. Okay? So how do you prevent contamination? Number one, during pandemic, they were asked to do this always during the pandemic, washing of hands. So it's so funny that during the pandemic, people learn to value the washing on hands, right? Aside from, of course, the funny masking, but washing of hands. Okay? So this is the most important. So when you're handling raw food, and then you will handle another food which is like maybe cooked, then you have to wash your hands. And how many seconds are you going to wash your hands? Is it 1 second, 2 seconds, 3, 4? No. If you can sing the happy birthday song, this is what we usually teach our staff. Sing the happy birthday song twice, and that is the right time of washing your hands. So that means no shortcut in washing your hands. No shortcut. Not 1 second, not 2 seconds, not 3 seconds or 5. Okay. So that is very important when you want to prevent contamination and cross-contamination. Washing of hands. By the way, when we speak of contamination, there are two kinds of contamination. Direct contamination, and the another one is cross-contamination. So that's very important. So we have to be very aware of what is contamination all about. It's because our primary objective is to prevent contamination and foodborne illnesses. So when we say food safety, it includes quality and safety through the whole food chain. Okay. Most of you probably don't know, I'm still working. So I'm working in a dietary department of Alberta Health Services. So our main customer is the patient in hospital. So nobody knows that. All they know is my background is customer service and marketing, and I'm into safety checking oil field companies in Alberta. But I have actually another job. This is my every other weekend job because I really love handling food. I mentioned to you, this is my background, 20 years background in food industry. So actually, I'm a restaurant manager in one local, should I say the name? I'm a local branch. I'm a store manager or general manager of McDonald's before. Also in the Philippines. So when I work in Canada, I also became a senior manager of this fast food industry. So I have a very extensive experience in food safety, and food safety is my number one concern. If I see one person entering the kitchen without washing his hands, I easily get irritated. When I see someone going to washroom, I have to make sure because we have a designated washroom area. Even if you wash your hands inside the washroom, or we call it comfort room, or we call it bathroom, in I don't know, in UK they call it different name, right? But washroom or bathroom or toilet, even if you wash your hands in the toilet, I wanna make it sure that you still have to go to that particular designated washing area because I got irritated. I don't know if I'm a homophobic or what. I don't wanna think I have that one. But washing of hands is very important to me. That's why during the pandemic, instead of us learning how to fly car, instead of learning and inventing flying cars, we're back to basic. During the pandemic, they teach us to wash hands just to avoid that COVID-19 disease. So you see the very importance of washing hands because this is our main tool aside from the knives, ladle. This is our main tool actually in preparation of food. That's why we have this global conference of food safety and control. My only message here, washing of hands. Don't forget that. When you touch anything like tools or maybe cleaning tools, always wash your hands, even at your home, because we don't want to have that foodborne disease outbreak. Okay? So another important thing aside from washing of hands is watching the time. How long did you prepare that food? That's why we have the so-called HT. If you don't know the term HT, that means holding time. Okay? Holding time. Don't you know that a French fries in your favorite burger station, there should be a certain time. 7 minutes is the holding time of fries in McDonald's. After 7 minutes, you have to throw that away because it's no longer as quality and warm as you prepare it. So remember the word holding time. The coffee, if you go to Starbucks, oh no, I'm promoting companies here. Okay, they should pay us. They should pay Macedonian Association because we are naming food companies here. Okay. Okay, I'll just mention in your coffee shop, 1 hour is the holding time of coffee. After an hour, the taste is different. Remember that. Holding time. So always ask when you go to restaurant or probably not the fine dining restaurant, ask for a fresh one. Okay. You can request that because that is your right as a customer and consumer is food safe. Okay. So I can say more about food safety, food control, food preparation. I can say more, but I think it is time for other speaker because I want to hear from them. So my message for today, when we say food control and quality and food preparation or food safety, remember two things that I mentioned to you, washing of hands and holding time. Thank you very much, Dr. Draga and Dr. Supriya, for this opportunity to share my simple knowledge about food safety and control. I return
John,
control
thank you.
to
And
you.
I must say, this is not a simple knowledge which you have shared. It's really great because you have told all the nitty-gritty things which we were not aware, like washing hands, and even when you were working in a restaurant and all the things which it is really insightful for you. So thank you so much for giving us a practical knowledge that's most important rather than theoretical knowledge. So hats off to you, Juan. Keep it up. Great going. Awesome. Well, moving to this beautiful journey of knowledge, fun, and celebrations. My next guest speaker, I am so humbled and honored to call upon. Let's go to USA. And she is none other than Dr. Anita C. Podal. Dr. Anita, you there? Yes, she's there. And I will say about Anita, founder of TAPNTU Movement and LLC Empowerment through Spoken Words Poetry, Foundation Ingai Poetry, and Music Publishing Academy. Dr. Anita, the floor is all yours to hit on. Yes.
Thank you so much, Dr. Supriya, Dr. Dragon. Thank you so much. You guys, it's so good to see everybody. It really is. I must say that this particular subject is not necessarily my expertise. However, I've got to say that I had fun and learned so much and continuing to learn about this subject. And when I was first, thank you, Anuja, thank you. When I was first blessed with this invitation, I thought about, the first thing I thought about was when I had taken a class in the 1980s, and it was in geology, and one of the professors, this was not a popular thing then, but the professor had said that, we speak of organic, we speak of food quality and control. He even spoke of food quality and control. And he indicated that, it is the soil that is corrupt. And because of global warming and climate change, these are the things that we must must be mindful of. And I thought about that. I said, we're back in the 80s. And then I continued to do research, and I said, okay, there are some things that we can do because it's, like a brother Von Erich Tandu had indicated the definition, and my beautiful sister, Professor Nada, I looked, I said, what is food quality and control? And then when I looked, I said, okay, well, food quality is just basic procedures and practices to ensure consumer safety and health. And then control just simply means minimizing defect and contamination. So then I said, okay, well, after that, well, how do we do this? How do we do this? And one of the things that I learned in my research is that it is crucial that the quality status is documented at every stage of the production process. Here, and I can only speak, in the USA because this is where I am. I did find ways to improve. Now, one of the ways to improve quality control and for consumer safe and health is to understand quality cost. Once we understand the workers, the manufacturers, the product, the companies, once we really understand how expensive it is, once defect reaches the consumer, then that costs much more than reaching it or stopping it at the focal point before it reaches the consumer. So that part of it is that we have to recoup. We have to recoup the quality versus the quantity, because once the defect reaches that consumer, then what happens? Companies may then sacrifice quality because they want to make up on that quantity. So we've got to really be careful in knowing how to instruct workers, companies in and of themselves, manufacturers, in ways to say, okay, it must be paramount that we understand we don't want the defect and the contamination to reach the consumer. What we want to do is stop it at the front, and in that way, we can reduce the cost or maintain and sustain the cost. Another way in helping to keep the defect and contamination is a psychological thing. Let our workers feel that they are contributing to the profit and the growth of the company. Let us workers feel that we are contributing, not just the worker that as worker bees and we are just here to earn money, but that we are part of this. We are part of the whole essence of helping our brothers and sisters, that we are part of that when they reach that food, hey, that I'm a part of that. I'm a part of that process in keeping them safe and healthy. Another way is to implement control systems. Now, I learned that back in the 1920s, there was some system software that was developed, and it's called the statistical process control. Back then, it was a manual record. Well, today there's software. There's software, and one of the software names that is very, very, very popular and credible is the softwareadvice.com. Listen, you can go for as far as ideal chain supply. Producers, manufacturers can go to this site and download and research and also implement these different types of software programs. These programs, it helps to improve lead time and then performance, and it also identifies the shortage and quality issues. Another way to reduce contamination and defect and improve quality control is by developing a food safety program. The World Health Organization indicated that 600 million people become ill because of contaminated food yearly. And of those 600 million, 420,000 die because of it. There is a Section 415 Food, Drug, and Cosmetic Act that foreign and domestic food manufacturers are required to register. But my thing here when I read about that was that even here in the United States, there are chemicals that are allowed within our federal government to be used on topical products. You know what I mean? So it's not that this is a good thing, Section 415, but my thing is, okay, but it's no good if countries are allowed to use byproducts that should not be used, and chemicals that cause skin penetration, meaning they goes to the blood, which is toxic and cancerous. These software and the domestic, it's called the Food, Drug, and Cosmetic Act. And that's to aim to train employees on food safety, prevent food contamination, develop audit systems, different things like that. And then one of the most popular food endorsements is the FDA. It's the HACCP, and that's the Hazard Analysis and Critical Control Point. Now, one other way, and I'm wrapping this up, is that to strive for sustainability improved. The Food Navigator USA indicated that 70% of the population believes a healthy body and a healthy environment go hand in hand. So we were talking about climate control, reducing our carbon footprint, doing what we can individually and collectively to help our environment, because that also helps with food control and quality. So now the ways to reduce the sustainability, water conservation. Instead of food irrigation with sprinklers, let's go to drip irrigation. Natural pest control, botanical pesticides, sustainable distribution, reducing food travel distance, and greener fuel like biodiesel or electricity as far as with the gas. And then free range animals. I just learned so much. I love this. You know, raising animals in uncrowded conditions, antibiotic free diet, even waste, using their waste for soil for fertilizer. That can maybe help, lessen the soil corruptness. But the bottom line is, you guys, the bottom line in all of this, which is awesome, there's another dynamic that is involved here. And the dynamic that is involved here is more than applying policy, procedure, rules, and protocol and methods. It is the golden rule. Treat others the way I want to be treated. Fundamentally, it goes back to having reverence and respect for self and others. Employers knowing and caring how employees are being treated. Workers motivated to honor the work that they do. That they are encouraged to believe, again, that they're contributing to the growth of the company. And perhaps even employers can contract or employ the services of an industrial psychologist, because that is one, here in the United States, motivation is an issue as far as with the workers not feeling satisfied, not feeling appreciated. So the bottom line is, until people come first, until it's quality over quantity in the grand scheme of things, and as my friend said, until we get to that respecting others, that golden rule, treating people like we want to be treated in everything, including product control, quality control, and safety, it is going to be profit over people in the mix, So once we go to the bottom line, summing it all up, hey, I'm gonna treat you like I wanna treat me. That means I'm gonna make sure that food, I'm gonna make sure that the safety and quality is superior, because I know that I want the same for you as I want the same for me. Thank you so much for the opportunity to deliver this message. I am Anita C. Powell.
Dr. Anita, this is really mesmerizing, because the way you said all the difficult things in such a beautiful and lucid manner, that's really matters a lot. And I'm sure the people over here really enjoyed with thorough knowledge. That matters a lot. So thank you so much for enlightening everyone today, for your great knowledge and wisdom. God bless you.
Thank you. God bless you. God bless everyone. Thank you.
Well, moving to this lovely journey, now I take a great privilege to call upon that speaker. I am her fan of her voice, and I want to steal her voice. I want her voice to be my voice. I have said so many times. And she is none other than Dr. Yolanda Peterson from South Africa. I love her voice. She is a public speaker, writer, social activist, executive director of BEGET, SPMS, Global Advisory Board member, and Without You Foundation, Nigeria. So without any single moment of delay, let's welcome Dr. Yolanda. The floor is all yours to hit on today.
Thank you, Dr. Supriya. I hope that I'm really audible. I don't know everyone that is on this panel. I have to start out by saying, when we sit on conferences and we are deliberating on very, very important topics, and yes, I'll go into my talk now, but this panel has just been so incredible. There's a vibe, there's an energy, there is a learning that's taking place. Dr. Nada, I really enjoyed both the visuals, the stats, as well as the sharing your country with us. You know, Von Eric, definitely the same thing in terms of what we can expect, because we are all working professionals. So what do we expect when we are going into these places to get our meals, not only for ourselves, but for our families? And Dr. Anita, let me tell you, girl, I actually went, I don't know nothing about foods. I don't know nothing. But the research was so incredible. And I come from working for one of the bigger retailers in South Africa whilst I was still in corporate, Woolworths. It is quite an upmarket retailer. And funnily enough, they had the faith in me to work in their supply chain and development department. So, you know, building DCs, going into cold storages, looking at peri-ambient banana boxes, getting product to the shelf that is ripe, ready, and fit for consumption. So it's almost full swing. This conference brings me full swing. But going on to my talk, ladies and gentlemen, it is noted that hunger is the leading cause of death in the world. That is indisputable. And the call to action when it relates to hunger and starvation is to end food insecurity and food scarcity. So in a utopian world, zero hunger means sustainable food production systems. I know that you have also alluded to the systems and processes has been mentioned, both in-house processes and then that last 50 meters to shop floor. But now, how are we going to sustain this? How are we going to ensure that we are getting the right food, nutritional food? Because we can get food. You see, the world at the moment is not being fed the right food. And that again goes down to our farmers, our agricultural processes. And when we are dabbling in the backyard of our farmers who produce our food, they face, not only in South Africa, but I can almost assure globally, a multitude of multi-dimensional challenges. Challenges number one, such as nature. We've mentioned coping with climate change, which is really huge, not only in terms of food, but in terms of sustainability of human life on this planet. Soil erosion, the type of soil that we are growing our food in. So yes, we are all going on a tangent about free range food, and we feel like we can, you know, we've done our duty to God and to our countries by supporting free range. But is it really? How do we know what soil, you know, is being used not only to feed the animals that we consume? I don't know, in our time when we were all growing up, we recognized a piece of chicken as a piece of chicken. Now one leg of a chicken is so genetically modified that we can have a whole freaking Thanksgiving dinner around it. That scares me. I don't want to eat that food, you know, and I'm just being honest here. And then, of course, when we speak about farmers and the issues, we look at biodiversity. Number two, I want to mention man-made problems. Perhaps not the right terminology. I would rather go industrial challenges. The insufficient water supply, safe drinking water, not only fit for human consumption, but also what we use on farms or what we use to irrigate the herb, leaf, and everything else that we are growing. Is that water non-contaminated? And I'm not referring to seasonal rain here. I'm just speaking about a lack of support for modern irrigation systems for our micro and macro farmers. And then also the over-dependence on traditional crops. And as I said, my time in supply chain, I mean, my job predominantly with the rest of the team, and I think I was the only woman at that time working with a team of engineers within a supply chain optimization environment, and that was to look at warehouse storage, dry storage, refrigeration, chilled storage, frozen storage, cold storage, ambient and peri-ambient storage, and even just figuring that out so that we could get the best quality to the shelf. You know, so much goes in on that. So that is why I really, really appreciate Von Eric when he says, listen, I'm not allowing anyone, not even on the basic processes that is looped, to serve on my floor. And I think, you know what, in warehousing, there's a very different story that goes on in the background, even though there are strict rules to adhere to that. So with due consideration to storage and protecting food whilst maintaining high sanitation standard, as well as our health standard. The next problem that, or issue that farmers face would be transportation problem. If I look at, I mean, last week was the 1st of, or whenever the 1st of the Feb was, on a Wednesday, each Wednesday of first month, I don't know globally, but here in South Africa, fuel and diesel prices ups. The moment fuel and diesel, I mean, if I'm looking at a diesel cost of 25 Rand 59 a litre, it's incredible. So the farmers that is dependent on logistics companies to bring that food to shelf are struggling. Logistics companies are struggling. And it is almost impossible to fulfill on a nutritional, really top of the grade, fresh lettuce, for argument's sake. So when we shop and we kind of go, but this is a little bit off. Yes, it's off because it's taken so much time to get from point A to point B, let alone from the farms. And then, of course, there's the high interest rates. And the saddest of all is the non-support or very minimal support of government schemes to also reach our micro farmers, farmers within communities, farmers within outlying areas that is not necessarily within our metropolitans, etc., etc. It is very difficult. Those people are growing their own tomatoes, growing their own cucumbers, their peppers, etc., etc. But there is no programs that expands, and there's an ecosystem of support, because ultimately what they're doing is they are feeding their families from what they are growing in soil, which is often gravel. So that is, but that is just a wrap up on the nature and man-made or operational, issues that that we face. Another thing that we face in foods would be shrinkage. If we look, roughly a third of the world's shrinkage annually, or a third is wasted annually. So globally, that is 1.3 billion tons of food wasted per year. In Africa, the stat is, it sits at an economic loss of $1 trillion US. I mean, this is mind-boggling. This for me, this is like, wow, you know. In South Africa, of the 31 million tons of food that is produced, 10 million tons of that is shrinkage, is waste. How is that? Then it comes to the part that I want to speak of, and I'm going to wrap up because I'm really wanting to hear from our Mr. Gupta, you know, because he would probably be the next speaker. Sir, thank you for making that daily traffic to get to us. So when it comes to politics and political agenda, ladies and gentlemen, we have to be addressing these challenges, both on a micro and on a macro level. And we need to discuss the direct effects, because it affects each and every single citizen. This is not organizational anymore. This is not company. This is not micro or macro farmer. This is no retailer. This is what laws are the government implementing within this space, because it affects each and every one of us. So the state plays a major role in politics, in the politics of food production. We cannot deny that. in the politics of food distribution. And because government departments regulate the proper processing of food and the proper preparation of food, we've heard quite a few laws, both from the United States and where Van Erik is from, and as well as import and export globally. So we are well aware as global citizens that our government influences society's food. So sometimes preventing food trade to countries that most need it, especially where there's a surplus of a country growing a certain type of food, and encouraging citizens to purchase local, to purchase nationally, instead of looking at imported products. But in my opinion, and I state this boldly, that just like poverty is intentional, I truly stand on this, that so is hunger. I stand on it that world hunger is designed intentionality, and it is a direct infringement of our human rights. So I'm happy about this global conference. I had so many people texting me as I was posting about this conference today, going, we want to be a part of it. We want to listen. This is such an important topic. Why are we not having this in South Africa? Well, I said we need to speak to Dr. Yonavov and Dr. Supriya and Dr. Anuja, you know, bring it here. Bring the discussions onto our side. But it caused such a stir. I'm not going to go into much of my talk just for the sake of our time. But also it is very, very important to note that the food that we eat means our longevity. What we consume brings healthy life. We need to be cognizant of shelf life. We need to be canvassing for food quality. And when I say food quality, we are also looking at, are we receiving the grammage and the weight that we are paying for? Because that also takes us into another level of capitalism and another level of governmental control. Food additives and preservatives. Are all of us educated on what the back of the label means? Do we teach this to our children in school? Or are we just consuming unconsciously without knowing? Pesticides plays a big role as well in terms of what we are producing to the shelf. And then, of course, there are new ways right now. And I'm really going to wrap up now. I must say, this has just been such an interesting topic of research for me. When we look at vertical farming, precision farming, closed loop farming, hydroponics is also very, very popular at the moment, because you only need a small space to be growing your own produce, whether that be lettuce or little tomatoes or, you know, your herbs, your spices, etc., on your balcony, in your back garden, or in your front garden. So in closing, I want to reiterate, and sometimes we forget this. What does human beings need? South Africa, India, United States, UK, Canada, Malaysia, wherever we sit in the world. We need food, we need water, we need clothing, we need sleep, and we need shelter. Since the beginning of humanistness, if that's even a word. And for me, the most important of those is food, water, and sleep. So let us not compromise on what we're accepting, on what we are consuming. And with that, I wrap up my talk. Thank you to our panel and to our host for allowing this.
Superb one, Dr. Yolanda, and thank you so much for enlightening us with your great wisdom of knowledge. I must say, great wisdom of nuggets today you have delivered, and all the course of general food safety, you have covered it in such a great time. So once again, thanks to you too. Thank you so much. Well, Ladies and gentlemen, let's take our ride to Malaysia, truly Asia. And when I say and talk about Malaysia, truly Asia, I remember one name, and that is none other than Esther Mala from Malaysia. And if I talk about Esther, she's a Toastmaster. Wow. International speaker, parenting and youth development coach, and most important, a very, very humble person I've ever met in my life. So, Dr. Esther, the floor is all yours to deliver us a beautiful knowledge of yours.
Thank you, Dr. Supriya, for the warm welcome. Thank you, everybody. It's indeed a great pleasure, and I feel privileged to share my part of knowledge with you that about food quality and control. Let me go straight away to sharing the screen. Host, can you enable my screen sharing? Thank you. Happy weekend to dear audience from wherever you are. Welcome to this wonderful session.
You can, dear. You can share.
Yeah, now it's okay. Okay. Yes, today we are sharing about food quality and control. And my part of sharing will be more to general knowledge about food. And I'm going to discuss about staple food. Staple food varies from one country to another country. In Malaysia and most of the Asian countries, we have rice as our staple food besides other tubers like tapioca, potato, and all that. We feed on various types of vegetables. We are rich with them. And in Malaysia, we are a multiracial country, and we have fantastic dishes to share, especially the tourists who come here. They enjoy the food here very much. Okay, today I have these few topics which I'll run through. You can see the topics here to save time. What is staple food? Staple food is a food that makes up the dominant part of population's diet. Like as I mentioned, in Asia, we have rice. Food staples are eaten regularly, means like as a daily main food, and which is a supply of a major proportion of person's energy and nutrition. Like in Asia, most of us are paddy planters, farmers, who needs a lot of energy. If you compare to Western countries and most of other countries, we are not here in Asians. We are not really using too much of a machineries on the field, so we need a lot of energy. So we are exposed to like energy drainage. So we need to eat good staple food in order to sustain ourselves daily. Food staple varies from one place to one place. As I mentioned, Malaysia, Singapore, Myanmar, Vietnam, Philippines, Indonesia. We are all eating the same staple food, and 50% of the world population are feeding on rice. What is food quality control? It is a procedure that a company must follow to ensure that its product meet food quality regulation and acceptable standard to ensure consumer safety. What is purpose of the food quality control? It is the procedure that a company must follow to ensure that its product meet food quality regulation and acceptable standards to ensure customer safety. Next, what are the food control procedures? There are 8 main food control quality procedures. First, ingredient specification. approved supplier list, product formulation or recipe, product standards, manufacturing procedures, in-process records, packaging and labeling, good manufacturing practices, and sanitation. What are the three main objectives of food quality control? Why we need food quality control? It is to enhance product quality and reduce risk, gain production efficiency, garner customer loyalty. These three objectives will be evident in any manufacturer with a robust and functional quality control program. Now let's see what are the types of food quality control. There are four main types of quality control. Food quality control, which is quality planning, quality improvement, quality assurance, and product quality control. If you want more information on all these types of quality control, you may Google or you can read from any other materials. What are the advantages? How it helps us? Why it's good for us? Quality control. Food quality control is incredibly important to ensure consumers are eating and handling safe food items. It can also protect customers from dangers such as contaminated food, while also ensuring they receive the weight and quality of food they have paid for. What is the purpose of food control? A national food control system ensures that the food available within a country is safe, wholesome, and fit for human consumption, conforms to food safety and quality requirements, and is honestly and accurately labeled as prescribed by the law. The methods used for food testing. The most common analytical methods for food quality assessment here are mass spectrometry, usually coupled with liquid. There we call it MS, gas chromatography, we call it GC in short, capillary electrophoresis, infraspectroscopy, nuclear magnetic resonance spectroscopy, and NMRS. The latest staple food quality and control involves a number of different techniques to ensure that food is safe for human consumption, such as safe from bacteria, virus, and chemical toxins. Methods used to ensure, these are the common two methods used to ensure quality of food include that use of hazard analysis and critical control points, which we call in short HACCP, and good manufacturing practices, GMP. HACCP is a system of preventive controls that identify and reduce the risk associated with food safety hazards. It involves identifying potential hazards, determining their likelihoods and severity, and establishing control measures to prevent or reduce the risk. GMP is a set of guidelines and procedures designed to ensure that food is safe and of a consistent quality. This includes the implementation of measures such as process control, product testing, and sanitation. Global food crisis. I'll sum up this my sharing with global food crisis year 2023. What are we looking forward? As mentioned by Dr. Peterson, hunger is not something new for us. Food crisis is also not new. It's not going to happen. It had been happening for a long time, but the number is increasing and it's in alarming rate. Conflict, economic shocks, climate extremes, and soaring fertilizer pricing combining to create a food crisis of unprecedented proportions. 828 million people are unsure of where their next meal is coming from. Means people don't know what they're going to eat. And most of them have only one meal. 540 million people are malnourished globally. This is the latest done according to the latest research. Estimated about 600 million people, 1 in every 10 people in the world fall ill after eating contaminated food, which is about 420,000, which dies every year. People die, 420,000 people die due to eating contaminated food. And again, due to 40% of foodborne disease, children under 5 years old die, which is about 125,000 every year. We have a chronic issue related to contaminated food, and also we have hunger all over the world, and many children, many people are malnourished because they are not, they can't get a balanced diet food. We have a choice. We have to act now to save lives and invest in solutions that secure food security, stability, and peace for all, or see people around the world facing rising hunger. So with the wonderful sharing from most of the eminent speakers today, I think my sharing had added some additional information. Thank you. If there's any questions, please.
Thank you. Great one. This is
Thank you.
really a beautiful presentation with lot of great knowledge of HCCP, and which you told about the various factors which we were unaware. Thank you so much, Esther, for creating this global wisdom knowledge on this global conference day. So really great one. And hats off to you for your lovely presentation, which you always make and do. Thank you so much. Well, ladies and gentlemen, now it's time to move to India. And when I say India, I am talking about none other than who? Yes, my next dynamic and gracious speaker, Mr. Pawan Gupta, who is the founder and CEO of Persona Engineering, president of IETRF, that is International Educators, Trainers and Researchers, Foundation Success Coach, and International Transformational Speaker. Mr. Pawan, the floor is all yours.
Thank you very much, Supriya. I give my humble gratitude to Mr. Dragon. He keeps on remembering me all the time, you know. And I think the three speakers before me who were there, Esther was there, Yolanda was there, Anita is there. And you have covered everything which is available on Google related to this topic, I think. All the data available, dynamics. And as I'll second the words of Yolanda, as she said, it is not a topic related to a particular district, state, or a country, or a continent. It is the topic which is related to our survival, and that is of the world. So, Mr. Dragon, I also request your good self, you should conduct this type of, conference in each and every country. See, you are now a dynamic, international personality, and you are right and left hand, Supriya and Anupriya. They are already, troubled the world, I say, with the, their speeches, their presentation, conference, symposiums, and all. The topic of the day, food safety and control, or we can say food quality, rather, food quality and control. See, I'll not go on data, because I think Google is full of it. And as I said, all the three speakers before me, they have covered all the topics related to food quality and control. I want to just give you a brief light why we are here today, what we have done till date regarding the same, or what are our vision, our missions related to this chronic issue. I say this is not a basic thing, this is a chronic issue. No country in the world is left behind. Tell me one country of the world which is not affected by hunger, no matter how developed they are. And why I am saying, see, I represent one of the most populous countries of the world. I think we have crossed the #1 position. Huh, Supriya? So,
Yes, why not? You hit on.
so world can learn from us. I'm not saying we are perfect. I'm not saying we are perfect. But definitely we are catering one of the largest population in the world. And I tell you, we have not won the corona battle by medicines. We have won the corona battle by the quality of food, which we have forgotten in the modern times, and which our ancestors used to prescribe us, like kadas, they are jari booties and all, herbs and shrubs were there. So we drank that. We never waited for the world to give us medicine to fight corona. Our traditional staple food, traditional herbs and Ayurvedic medicines saved us. Coming to this point, I'll tell you, the food quality is not the work of the government. We are the ones who go to malls, who go to department stores, and we pick up the packet of a food which says that it will be expired within 6 months. And we go to that mall, we pick this packet up and see 1 month is left. Yes, we can have it. So we ourselves are not forcing the society to have fresh foods. And I tell you, the things which are used to preserve that particular packet for 6 months, the manufacturers, the marketing people, the food industry, they uses n number times of preservatives, deadly preservatives, and they have written in so small words that with the naked eye, or I think sometimes I feel even I wear a binocular, I'll not able to read it out. And certain details have been written. They said HUK type 4 preservative used. But I'll tell you, my friends, if you go to Google and put that, simply secret codes in that, you will never touch that particular food packet. So here we have to create environment awareness across ourselves in our society, that we should bring that things in the mind of government, that we don't want food industry to use that type of deadly, preservatives. I'll not call them preservative, that deadly chemicals, because they are eating our life. They are reducing our life sustainability. Second type of quality, I'll say, how our quality of the food is affected. See, I don't have anything Google. I'm just going ex tempo because of my experiences and type of, conferences I've attended, and I heard, best speaker around the world like you. So second type of pilferage take place when the food is transported. Again, I'll quote you example. When you go to a grocery shop, and I'll tell you a dish that is ice cream, which is loved by everyone. I think no one on this platform will say we don't like ice creams. See, I can see smile on the face of Yolanda, and Supriya and Anupriya are already fond of ice creams. See, they say these are very basic things which we have every day, and the international quality standards companies and the councils, WHO, they say if you will not preserve that particularly milk products at a given temperature, that will become a type of slow poison. Because see, food industry is maintaining that temperature. Store maintain that temperature. What we don't know, the time taken by the transportation of that particular ice creams, which we give to even our newborn childs as a matter of sweet. And they say we have got preservatives. Even if you will not be able to give them proper temperature, they say it will not affect, but actually it will. So these are small examples I've given you to certain particular products, and you can imagine how different type of things are there which are transported, and there are things which are warehoused. Whether a particular warehouse is adhering to all the regulation of the government or the food department related to preserve. I'm not even saying to put preservative. Whether they are maintaining such conditions which are required to keep that particular food fresh and without any contamination. No one is looking that. We just go to a mall and we say only 1 month is left, 6 months were there, still we can have it, you have it. Now I'll shift from food quality to control. May I ask Supriya, can you give me 2 minutes more to speak on the control also?
Sure, because we are enjoying your practical knowledge. You can. No worries.
Thank you. So when we say control, everyone will discuss about the government control because government policies are there. But the amount of wastage done, as has been already told by Esther, Yolanda, Anita, we can reduce this wastage drastically if we can distribute that waste product before getting contaminated. I'll tell you, certain organizations in India, those who have started their pages and websites related to, they say, give us the extra food, we will distribute that to needy. So tons of food which were wasted and still wasted, but still 20 to 25%, they are now collected by certain NGOs, non-governmental organizations, especially in Delhi and some metro areas. And we are trying to have more of such organizations who collect this, extra food, and they distribute that food to needy. One thing is very common in all the parts of the world. that is concentration of power in the hands of few. If you take our case of our India, some of the richest people of the world stays in our country, but they make only 10% of it. 90% are still, trying to, fight to going from below poverty line to above poverty line, middle class from middle class to upper middle class. So if we can reduce that pilferage, if we can reduce that, wastage of food, if we can have certain agencies who can see and they can condemn hoarding because of price rise, and or you can say proposed price rise, or you can say when they come to know that tomorrow something will happen, then cost related to the food products will go up, they start hoarding the products. And poor fellow, a person who is living in the rural area, is not able to get the same product which is produced by him or her at the same price. So it is our duty not only to discuss this type of issues on the platform, it is our duty to create awareness in the world. I especially thank Supriya and Anupriya. I'm proud of you, both of you, because you are giving, not only representing our country, but you are, touching certain issues which are not even thought by, different people who are holding conferences. We talk about human motivation. We talk about human motivation. We talk about leadership. But we are not touching the basic point which has been touched by the Yolanda, like food, shelter. These are the basic things. And no matter how we call ourselves leaders of the world, but we are still not able to provide food to all. And it is very disheartening when we hear this news that some part of India or Africa or somewhere else, people died due to hunger. And on the other hand, we are getting the news that lakhs of tons of food has been wasted. I request Dr. Dragon, please make an international society related to this basic need. And we all will be there for you to support you. And my organization, IETRF, will definitely give you all assistance related to these type of, things. And one thing more, I want to request this organization of yours, that you people are doing very good job related to psychological disorder. I often come across certain posts related to Mr. Dragon. So I definitely want that you people to deal with that issues, and please organize a conference related to psychological disorder. Autism is there. Then we have certain things like depression and anxiety, which people think they are very easy things. In India, everyone says if they are even sitting idle, someone will ask them what happened. They'll say, I am in depression. So they take things very easy. And these people don't visit doctors. They say if you visit doctor related to depression, so we are going to get our, mental health checkup. So we will be called mental. So we have to create awareness in the world that there is no sign of, any disorder. If we can talk to each other, if we can unite each other, and see, I can see the smile on the faces of all the world leaders here. And I really enjoy Every time you come up with a great topic, and I thank you all once again that you give me opportunity to represent my country. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Pawan. And I reciprocate the same here. And I really adore your lines when you said about mental illness. That's really, and next conference, you have given me an idea to put this a great topic. And
Yeah.
I truly says, and I would love to share each and every one over here. Yes, today, whether you're an Indian, whether you're in any of the country, you feel depression, you feel anxiety. But I tell you one thing, whatever may happen in your life, you have to keep moving on. I know it's very easy to say, sometimes I am also doing the same thing. Okay, let's move on, but I won't feel good at heart. But the thing is, when you are, trust me, folks, this is my own experience of life. When you're happy from your heart, even when you're walking in the sun, you will sing a song, wow, 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 wow. And when you are in your air condition, you are tense, you're not happy, you will still sweat. You can't sleep at night. No mental peace, no happiness. And even that AC, air condition, will look like a monster. So most important in life is your heart happiness. You have to be happy from your heart. And the mantra which I would love to share with everyone over here on this global conference, keep going, because people will hate you, shake you, break you, rate you, which I always say. But it's you who make you. So keep moving on, keep going on. And I adore Mr. Pawan Gupta, really, the whatever insightful views he has shared with us. Depression, mental illness, take away, take a break, keep a pause. Make your life very beautiful by staying away from negative people. And buddy can't make you happy until you want. And nobody, morning when I wake up, I always say, oh, nobody can't make you happy, Supriya, until you want. And nobody can't make you sad, Supriya, until you want. So I have to keep motivating me. I keep messaging my friends, my families to move on, and move on. And thank you so much, Mr. Pawan, for enlightening us for such a beautiful, insightful topic. Thank you so much. Proud to be an Indian with you, and I feel the same thing with you. Thank you so much. Well, ladies and gentlemen, moving this journey from ordinary to super extraordinary, now I have my last but not the least speaker from Australia, Mireille. And Mireille, we were waiting for you and from time immemorial. And let me tell, well, she needs not any introduction, but she is the founder, STEM Queens, UG, thought leader, engineer, and international speaker. Mireille, the floor is all yours, straight on.
Thank you so much, Supriya, and thank you again for the invitation. It's always a pleasure to come and and discuss important issues on this platform. I think I've got mixed up with the time, and so would like to apologize for being late. So it's always very important to talk about food, because we eat every day, but we take it for granted, and that's something that we need to really change. We need to really change our mindset, our relationship with food, and understand that whatever we put into our mouth has actually a lot of impact, not only on our mood. You talked about the mood, but also on our health. So it is an important things to really focus on. And we've seen so far that there's a lot of pressure with everything that is going on, and there's a trend that actually changed the way we the way we eat, the way we produce the food, the way we process the food, and also the distribution, which is across the supply chain. And this pressure can be due to different things. It can be due to our lifestyle. There's a lifestyle that we want to have based on our income. It can be due to the technology. It can be due to different things. And it is important that we actually understand how this food system is actually impacting the food that is coming to our next to our door. And that's something that is, being very challenging right now because things are changing rapidly. We see an increase of population all over the world, and it's not helping. It's not helping because people need to be, creative. The supply chain need to be effective. And we see a lot of, the supply might be, sometimes very limited, and we see a lot of anger on one side and waste of food on another side. And how do we balance all of that? I think that's where, the control and the quality is important, because you, at the same time, you know that there are people who are not, don't have food. So whatever they're gonna have, then they don't have time to check if it's good quality food or anything. They just want to eat, and that's actually the side, the sad side of things. And so we really need to have, I know that, someone mentioned that it's not the government, job to do anything, but it actually starts also with the government, because we need someone who can actually create the structure and make people, accountable, because I think the accountability sometimes lack in all of this. People provide food, but they're not actually conscious that they have to be accountable for that. For example, I mean, especially in Australia, I mean, the regulation by the government is amazing. I mean, you have the government regulating the food through the full supply chain, and they work with different other entity, and that's where, it is important that it's not just the government, but the full entity. They work with, the different agencies. They work with the Department of Health to understand, how the food, or all the chemical that we use in the food can actually impact, the health of, of the citizen. And they also work on, putting together the policies and really also having, a policing, what's going on, and making sure that we have, safe food, and really reduce, the burden of, the compliance of on the food sector. And that's something that is really, really good. And one of the things that helps as well to provide, some cost-effective, cost-effective way of producing foods, especially for the citizens who are challenged. And that's a good thing. But obviously, with all of that, it has to come down to the people that are actually producing the food. And it is important that, we get them educated, that they understand, especially in the manufacturing sector, when the people manufacturing the food and really creating all, being in the all supply chain, to understand that whatever they produce, they have to be conscious of the quality. And it comes down to, educating people who are working in those factories, so that they understand that, this regulation is not there just to police them. It's actually to help them, them to provide the best product, to help them to provide, what is really good for their customers, so that they can have, sustainability. Because if you provide very bad things, then at the end of the day, you lose at the end of the chain, because the food will have a negative impact, and you might not get, your customer back as well. So really make them understand at the lower part of the chain that whatever, if they take care of the quality at the beginning of the chain, then, it helps, to provide the right, quality of food. And that's something that is really, really, really important to understand. But obviously, with what's happening, and that's where, I say that it's important to look at the big picture. We see that, with everything that is happening in Europe, with the war, with the energy, the energy crisis, this energy crisis actually has a big impact on the supply chain of the food. So it actually, create a burden on top of the different usual cost. It costs really more to produce the food because you don't have, the energy is not there. So obviously, there's if you want to keep the production, then you have to increase the cost, or you have to use more expensive products to be able to create the same amount of food. So all of this is actually, part of create this impact where, food is more expensive. And when it becomes more expensive, people, look for the cheap option. And sometimes the cheap option is not, the food that is really controlled, or, the food that went through the full control system. And that can be, another problem. And that's why, education is important. We talked about the education of, the people that are actually producing the food, but also the consumers, the people who go to the supermarket or who go to the market, so that they understand exactly, this food that I'm going to encourage them to ask questions as well, so that they understand really, what they're buying, where it comes from, and really be proactive, I would say, when it's when it's about food, because like I said, we take it for granted. We just buy whatever we have to buy, but we don't realize, the impact of really, being a customer and understanding what this food is, where this food is coming from, what was used to create this food, and the impact is going to have when we eat it after a while. So that's something that still need to be, I think, one of the speakers talked about, educating, the young generation at school. I think those are the things that we really need to start to look at, because those children eat every day, so they need to understand that, the food, yes, it's coming, but food comes from somewhere. Understand exactly, how, what are the risks, what are the, the challenges, and how they can actually, be safe, because it's about safety in this case. There's so much going on. We see all kind of foods, and sometimes, because it's not regulated, we don't really know, what we're eating, and we don't know how to verify, the quality of the food. So really have, this focus on educating people through the supply chain, not only from, the people who are producing, make them understand that it's about quality, and whatever they're doing, they really have to be focused on the quality, but also the customer to understand that you have the responsibility to check where the food is coming, and understand what impact, when the products that are in the food, understand the impact that they're going to have, on you. Because we talk about, we see now a lot of, young people actually dying from heart attack. And sometimes it is really unusual, but if we go back, we can check, the food, maybe they've been eating, food that is, where there's so many chemicals, and after a while, they end up, being sick. So really understand, the impact of every single product that we use at every single, whatever is going into our food, and start really young. And so that's really, the message for me, understanding that, yes, the government has, it starts with the government having all the compliance, the policies, and the system in place, and the different milestones to be able to check, through the supply chain, especially at, for all the big companies that are involved in the food system. But, at the end of the day, also understand that we need to be, proactive ourselves as a consumer, to understand, to get the knowledge that is necessary, and understand where everything is coming from. And the other thing is, because obviously with what's happening, some people don't have access to food, is to have, those who can actually help, to be able to align and make sure that those who need this access to food gets some quality in the food that they are given, and see how all the waste, because there's a lot of waste, especially here in Australia, see how we can, see how we can use this, this food that we're wasting in a safe way, to be able to redistribute it to, the people that need it, especially in the different countries, because obviously if you send it abroad, there's another, the chain becomes longer, and, how long can you preserve it? That's another issue. So really, always a pleasure to share my, what I think on the subject. And for me, it's really about, telling people that food is part of our life, and it can give us, it can give us good wealth or good health, or it can actually kill us. So people need to understand that when they have food in front of them, it can be like having something that a poison that can actually kill you if you're not careful. So then they need to really look at more at understanding where the food is coming, and understanding the impact that the different product that goes into the food actually create, and the impact that can have on their health especially. So thank you again for for the opportunity to be here. Thank you, Dr. Supriya and Dr. Dragan for for the invitation, and always a pleasure. And thank you to all the eminent speaker. Lots of learning today, and I really appreciate. Thank you.
Great thanks to you, Mirel, and you really rocked on with your knowledge today. And yes, it's very true. Food can destroy you, food can make you. So you can thank everyone how important it is. So we have to take care of our health, our food in a very great manner. That's what Mirel has shared. So thank you so much once again, my dear folks, ladies and gentlemen. And here I will say only one thing today. Spring comes from the end of winter. Sprouts come from the end of seeds. Harvest comes from the end of plants. Sweeter ending to a new beginning of today's global conference. Well, I hope you all must have enjoyed and taken numerous key takeaways of knowledge, of wisdom, how to take care of your food, how to take care of its control, and how to be healthy, wealthy, and wise. I express my gratitude to all the speakers, live audience, and of course, how can I forget my team? Dr. Dragan, Dr. Anuja, for always supporting me. Thank you so much for your everlasting support. And because of this, 3.5 hours is just like watching a movie with you all. So thank you so much for your love. Thank you everyone for making this conference a special one. And you will be getting your beautiful certificates today itself. No more delays in that. Till then, stay happy, hail and hearty. Bye-bye. Love you all from India.
Thank you.
Bye-bye, everyone. God
Bye-bye.
bless.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Bye,
God bless you.
everyone.
Everybody,
Thank you so much.
bye-bye.
God bless you
Bye-bye.
all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Pleasure
Good to see
meeting
you
you.
all.